You know those things about yourself that you've always thought were flaws? The constant overthinking, the getting bored super fast, that feeling that you just don't quite fit in? Well, what if they're not flaws at all? In this explainer, we're going to dive into a pretty radical idea from psychology, that these very traits might actually be the features of a highly gifted mind.
I mean, it's such a frustrating feeling, right? That sense that your own mind is your biggest obstacle, like it's constantly spinning its wheels, or just tuned to a totally different frequency than everyone else around you.
But what if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if these aren't flaws, but features? We're about to break down how psychology reframes these traits as actual markers of a uniquely powerful mind. And the wild part is, most people who have them go their whole lives without ever realizing it. All right, so first up, let's talk about the overactive mind. This is for anyone out there whose brain feels like it's just always on. This constant hum of activity that can feel a lot more like chaos than a gift. Okay, so the first one, a total classic. You overthink everything. It's when a simple choice like what to have for dinner suddenly becomes this huge, complex web of possibilities. While everyone else is already ordered, your brain is still in there, analyzing every angle, predicting outcomes, and asking, but what if? It can be absolutely exhausting. So yeah, we call that analysis paralysis. And we see it as a weakness, like we're just stuck. But what if it's not? The psychological view is that this is actually higher cognitive processing. Your brain isn't broken, it's just built to go way, way deeper. Think about it like this. It's not a malfunction. Your mind is just doing exactly what it was designed to do, to explore every single possibility, not just settle for the first easy surface-level answer that comes along.
And another one I know a lot of you will relate to, getting bored easily. This always gets mislabeled as having a short attention span. If repetitive tasks feel like actual torture, or you find yourself zoning out in slow-moving conversations, this one is definitely for you.
But here's the twist. It's not really about a lack of focus. It's about a lack of challenge. The whole idea here is that your brain processes information so fast that the second you figured something out, you're already starved for the next piece of information. This just puts it perfectly. That boredom you feel isn't a sign of weakness. It's the sound of a powerful engine that's being totally underused, like it's stuck in first gear when it was built to race. Okay, so this overactive mind thing, it often leads to something else, a really deep search for meaning. This next set of traits is for all of you who just feel driven to look past the surface of everyday life. Small talk. If chatting about the weather makes you want to run for the hills, you are going to get this. It's that constant craving for real conversations about big ideas, about human nature, about the why behind, well, everything. People might just write this off as being socially awkward, but it's much better described as high intellectual curiosity. For you, a conversation isn't just about connecting, it's about understanding. You value genuine meaning way more than simple pleasantries. Ever pointed out a connection that seemed totally obvious to you only to get a sea of blank stares? Yeah, that's this trait right here. The ability to see the invisible threads, the hidden motives, the underlying patterns, and how people behave that just fly over most people's heads. This can so easily be mistaken for being negative or overly critical. But what's really going on is a sign of advanced pattern recognition. Your brain isn't just wired to see what is happening, but to instinctively figure out why. This quote just nails the difference. See, most people experience the world as a series of disconnected moments. You, on the other hand, you're perceiving the underlying system, the whole machine that connects all those moments together. All right, for our last section, let's turn inward, because all of this deep processing and pattern spotting naturally creates a really rich, complex, and sometimes, kind of isolating internal world. And this one can be particularly tough. It's that persistent feeling of being out of sync with the world around you, of operating on a slightly different wavelength, even when you're trying your best just to fit in. So the truth here isn't that you don't fit in. It's that your mind was never, ever designed to. Your way of thinking is just different from the majority by default. And that's not a bug, it's a feature. And all of this leads to a constantly humming inner world. Even when you look totally still on the outside, your mind is a whirlwind, reflecting on the past, imagining the future, replaying conversations, and building brand new ideas from scratch. Let's be clear. This is not being distracted. It's deep internal processing. It even has a cool name, metacognition.
which is basically just thinking about your own thinking. Your mind is never idle. It's always building something.
So, okay, we've walked through 6 traits that are so often seen as flaws. But here's the kicker. They're not just random quirks. They are all symptoms pointing to one single, powerful cause.
And that cause is this: advanced cognitive processing. This is the big aha moment that ties everything together. The overthinking, the boredom, that deep search for meaning. It all comes from a brain that is fundamentally wired to process the world faster, deeper, and with so much more complexity.
So the ultimate takeaway here is to shift from self-criticism to self-awareness. When you finally realize your brain is simply built this way, all those so-called flaws suddenly make perfect sense. They're not bugs, they're features of your operating system.
And that leaves us with a final and pretty powerful question. Recognizing how your mind works isn't the finish line. It's the starting line. Now that you have the user manual, what amazing things are you going to build with that incredible machine?